Okay, if you've been following EVs, you probably already know the Cybertruck is one of the most talked about vehicles on the planet. And for 2026, it's still doing what it does best, making people stop and stare. But this time around, it's trying to be a little more grown up. Think the same wild, angular look, but with tweaks that actually make it more useful in daily life. From the outside, nothing about the Cybertruck screams timid. That stainless steel body still looks like it belongs in a sci-fi movie. But the new updates soften a few edges and add some practical touches, improved lighting, a few more refined joints, and details that make it look less like a concept and more like something you'd actually live with. It still stands out in any parking lot. But the message is now, I'm futuristic, and I can do work too. Inside, Tesla doubled down on its minimalism. It's Spartan, yes, but the 2026 updates make the cabin feel cleaner and more usable. Better storage, clearer displays, and a nicer feel to the materials. It's not Bentley-level luxury, but you don't buy a Cybertruck to feel like a banker. You buy it because you want space, tech, and that distinct Tesla vibe. Posters and forums have been buzzing about interior photos and the vibe they give off. Less toy, more tool. Now here's the bit that's got everyone talking. The powertrain rumors. Tesla outlined a plan for a bed-mounted range extender in past updates, basically an add-on to give extra miles. And that idea has morphed in the rumor mill into talk of hybrid-style options or range-extending solutions. The official story has been a little messy. Tesla at one point mentioned a range extender that would add substantial range. But the timeline and specifics have shuffled around, and the feature's status has been unclear publicly. So, treat the hybrid talk as possible and interesting, not confirmed tech that you can order today. What's exciting is how those ideas change what the Cybertruck could be. Imagine the utility of a long-range setup for long trips, or a system that eases range anxiety for people who want to use it as a real daily truck. If Tesla nails a reliable range extender or improves battery tech, it shifts the Cybertruck from a bold city statement to a genuine long-haul tool. Off-road, the Cybertruck still wants to flex. Ground clearance, robust suspension software, and a pretty clever torque delivery mean it's built to go places most SUVs avoid. The 2026 tweaks focus more on making the truck actually work off the beaten path. Better approach and departure angles, improved underbody protection, and more refined traction control. Take it onto dirt, and it behaves like a serious utility vehicle, rather than a delicate showpiece. Driving it on tarmac is a slightly different story. The Cybertruck always had this paradox. It's huge and heavy, yet it can pull surprisingly quick numbers, thanks to electric torque. In everyday driving, the 2026 updates try to smooth out the ride and dialing in the steering feel, so it doesn't feel like you're wrestling a spaceship. It's still unique to drive, that's the appeal, but the improvements make it more approachable for longer trips and for folks who want to actually use the bed, tow stuff, or haul gear. Let's talk tech. If you like the idea of an accessible, software-forward truck, Tesla's still the leader. The Cybertruck ships with the usual Tesla suite, navigation, over-the-air updates, Autopilot features, and the company keeps adding software tweaks that change the experience long after you buy it. That's a double-edged sword. New features can pop up and make your truck better, but it also means some promised hardware features, like range extenders, can lag or change. Still, from the touchscreens to the user experience, the Cybertruck feels like a modern connected pickup. Price is where reality sits down beside your dreams. Early expectations for the Cybertruck were famously ambitious, but the market has been messy. Tesla's initial promises of a bargain base model haven't really panned out, and current pricing for the Cybertruck sits well above what many originally hoped. For 2026, industry listings and price guides put typical starting prices in the neighborhood of the low to mid $80K range for mainstream trims, depending on options and battery choices. That's a meaningful chunk of change. But if you're comparing it to high-end rivals and loaded pickup builds, it's not wild. Just know that those cool options and longer range solutions will push the sticker even higher. Okay, how does this version stack up to the early Cybertruck hype and past models? The OG promise was affordable, game-changing pickup, and reality has been more complicated. Stellar design, bold ambitions, and some manufacturing and pricing wrinkles. The 2026 updates feel like Tesla admitting, okay, let's make this more usable for people who actually use trucks. It's less about insane, unreachable promises, and more about delivering on utility, tech, and a distinct identity you won't forget. Meanwhile, real-world data shows the truck's sales and market reception have had ups and downs. It's been polarizing, and that continues to shape how Tesla positions updates and pricing. So, who should consider the Cybertruck in 2026? If you want something that stands out, that's packed with tech, and you're okay trading a little traditional comfort for a weirdly brilliant design, it's a great pick. If you need predictable, tried-and-true truck ownership with broad dealer support and established servicing networks, some other trucks might be more sensible right now. But for early adopters, tech lovers, and people who want a truck that's a conversation starter and a weekend warrior, the Cybertruck still checks a lot of boxes. Here's the bottom line: the 2026 Cybertruck is less of a promise and more of a maturing product. Tesla is leaning into usability, better interiors, more realistic pricing expectations for what you actually get, and potential range-extending solutions that could make it far more practical. It's still one of the most interesting trucks on sale because nobody else mixes styling, software, and brute electric power like this. If you loved the look and the idea of owning something that's part futuristic sculpture and part workhorse, this version gets closer to reality. If you're buying purely on practicality and lowest cost, wait and compare. Either way, the Cybertruck is far from boring, and it's keeping the EV conversation exciting.